Hi and welcome to another YouTube video. In this video I'm going to be talking a little bit about keyboard layouts. Now the QWERTY keyboard layout as we know it has been around since late 1800s and it was originally designed for typewriters. Now there's no particular reason for the layout other than the fact that all the keys were tried to deliberately spread out as much as possible. The reason being, on the original Remington typewriters that the QWERTY keyboard was used for, before that typewriters were done in an alphabetical order, and the problem was the metal bars that used in typewriters to actually stamp the letters were clashing and causing mechanical faults. And so the idea of the QWERTY keyboard layout was to spread the keys out as much as possible to stop that from happening. So there's not really any sort of, from a typing point of view, there's not really necessarily any ergonomical sort of aspect to it really. Now I've used QWERTY for many years, I've used computers for many years. I don't touch type as such on QWERTY keyboards, but I do use pretty much all my fingers. I just sort of do it my own sort of style really. But I could probably sort of do around sort of 60 plus words a minute. But there are alternative layouts worth having a look at, so we're just going to go through a few of them. So obviously there's ones for different countries. So this first one that we've got on the screen here is called qwerty, and this is one that's common in France. Now the main differences you'll see on this one are the Q and the W keys have moved around, and it's qwerty rather than QWERTY. Also the number keys at the top, which have all the accented characters on. Obviously on UK keyboards, if you want to press a number key, you just press the number and it will do it. If you want to get the symbols, you have to hold down Shift, and it's the opposite way around on the French keyboard. So because they want access to the accented letters more easily, you just need to press the number 2 key to get the E with the accent. And then if you want to press number 2, if you want the number 2, you have to press Shift and then the number 2 key. So a little bit different there. There's one called qwerts that's used in Germany, Austria and sort of Czech Republic and surrounding areas, and I'm not going to go through every single difference on there. You can see for yourself that it's got a few they called umlauts and that sort of thing on there on the side of the keys, and the layout's slightly different. You've got the Z in a different place to the Y. So yeah, a few differences there. This one, JCUKEN, I'm not going to Jukuken. This has the Cyrillic text that's used in what's formerly known as Russia. Common keyboard over there, so very different type of alphabet over there. So obviously you can see it's a very different looking keyboard. Now this one's a little bit different. This is called the Colmac keyboard, and it's quite similar to QWERTY. But there are about I think it's about 17 differences on the actual keyboard in terms of layout. So some of the more commonly used letters on the home row keys and that sort of thing. It's got rid of the caps lock key and put an extra backspace key on the left hand side, so a little bit different there. So one worth trying out. I don't know it very well myself, but it's certainly one worth trying out. And on to my favourite one. Yes, I do have a favourite keyboard. This is the Dvorak, and it is pronounced Dvorak apparently. And this is a much more ergonomically designed keyboard layout. And this was made in the 1930s, I believe, by somebody called Augustus Dvorak. And the idea behind this one is all your commonly used letters are on the home row keys. You might see there you've got your full stop and your comma and everything just above the home row keys on the left hand side. Whereas with a QWERTY keyboard, most of the keys that you press with your left hand, on this slightly more of the keys are pressed with your right hand, so it's a little bit better from that point of view if you're right-handed. Now this one you do really need to learn to touch type on, because it just doesn't really work very well otherwise, and I've been using this one myself as my default keyboard for probably about 10 years now, and I find it really good. I can type sort of 90 plus words per minute with this keyboard layout. And you can change the settings on your computer, whether it be PC or Mac, to actually change the keyboard layout to Dvorak. You can buy Dvorak and Colmac keyboards, but I didn't do that. I just changed the software layout, which meant that when I was practicing, trying to learn how to use it, I couldn't look down at the keys on the keyboard because they were completely different. I've still got a QWERTY keyboard, but I'm typing with these letters. So the only keys that are in the same place, on the letters that is, are the A and the M keys, but other than that it's all very, very different. So probably it took me about 3 months to learn how to use this keyboard layout properly, and I've used it ever since and gotten progressively faster at it. So if you do want to try out a different keyboard layout, there's a few different options. There is quite a good website called typingclub.com, and if you do /Dvorak, you can actually do some typing lessons but with the Dvorak based keyboard. So here's some keyboard lessons using the Dvorak layout. So for my home keys I actually have U and H instead of F and J. So if I press my U key, which is my F key, and then press my H key, which is my J key, and then it gives you some typing practice lessons to go through. It's a bit tedious, like any typing program is really, but it's well worth having a look at if you want to have a go at doing that. So I'm not going to bore you by making you watch me do that, but anyway, you get the idea. Now, when I learned how to type with the Dvorak keyboard, I actually used a free program. Again, this is about 10 years ago now. I'm sure there's other ones as well, called Stamina. Hello. So this is Stamina. Apologise for the strange sound effects and things in this. Now, you might have noticed it suddenly skips to evening time, and that's because I did record the section earlier, and unfortunately I left the music playing on this program, and it was extremely annoying and loud, and you couldn't actually hear me speaking, so I'm just re-recording this section. So yes, this is a free typing program. As you can see, I've already got it set on Dvorak on here. If I press F1 on my keyboard, it skips back to QWERTY, but it's only got QWERTY and Dvorak as options on here. But that's fine for what I wanted it for. And it's just basically another typing tutor type program. I've got sound effects on at the moment. I might turn those off because they can be quite irritating. You can have music, you can have your own music playing, you can set playlists and things like that. You can have censorship on because it does make strange sort of farting and burping noises and things like that. I think you can turn the sound effects off, but I'll just click on those for now. I don't know what that is down there. Entertain. Okay, we'll turn that off as well. So I'll click on apply and okay. Right, so basically now if I just press space, size, and I'm not going to go for all this, don't worry. So yes, it basically takes you through. It will be playing strange sounds if I get things wrong, just to show me.
Ow! No.
Probably here. Ow! It's quite annoying, but you get the idea. I make loads of mistakes there. So yeah, so I'm just going to stop that for the moment. It does also give you progress charts, and as you do more exercises, it will continue to show you extra progress. So I'm just going to click on finish for now. So but yeah, so that's just a free one. And again, I started using this one about nearly 10 years ago now. So it's yeah, it's good that it still works on Windows 10. So just close that for now.
I'll be back.
So there was a reason why I changed my keyboard layout in the first place, and it was because I was having lots of pain in my wrist, and I thought maybe it would help, and I think it did actually overall. After I got the hang of it, it probably took me roughly about 3 months to sort of learn how to use it properly, and I've used it continuously since then. So well worth having a look at. If you do want to try any different keyboard layouts, you can find them. So I'm on Windows 10 at the moment. It will be slightly different in different versions of Windows and on Mac, but it is available in all those as well. So if I click on settings, and just bear me a second, and rather than go to keyboard settings, we go to time and language, and down here when I click on here, it gives me some further options. If I click on there, so you can see the keyboards that I've already got installed on here. I can click on add keyboard, and I can scroll through all different languages. There's also a left-handed and right-handed only Dvorak keyboards as well. Now it doesn't have the Colmac keyboard on here, but you can download it from the internet. And to skip between the two different keyboard layouts that I've currently got selected here, I can press the Windows key and spacebar and it will skip between them. On older versions of Windows, I believe it's Alt and Shift to skip between them. I think it's Alt and Shift. But yeah, if you want to try the Colmac keyboard, I believe you can just download that from the internet. Yeah, so I've not tried it myself yet, but I might download that and give that one a try as well. So yeah, so that's basically it. Sorry for such a geeky video, but I hope you enjoyed it, and hopefully it's useful and gives you sort of food for thought. Okay, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!